Let's hear more about this from Mohammed Shafiq with the Ramadhan Foundation, a Muslim youth organization focused on building dialogue for all communities. He joins us now live from London. Thanks so much for being with us. Let me take it for granted that your entire community expresses its condemnation and revulsion of these crimes. Let's not even bother with that. No normal person could be in favor of this kind of conduct. What Jack Straw is saying is something more. He's saying there is a particular problem inside the community of Britons of Pakistani heritage. Is he right?
He's wrong. I recognise and accept, as I have done over the past few days since I wrote my piece in the Times newspaper, that there is a problem. 65 recent convictions, of which 53 were British Pakistani. So there is a problem, and I accept that there is a problem. There's a perception that white girls are less valuable, have less morals than Asian girls, and so that is an issue. But I think to suggest that somehow this is ingrained within the Pakistan culture, or for a moment that this is something which is endemic within the Pakistani community in the United Kingdom, is deeply offensive and irresponsible. And Jonathan, this issue here is clear. Jack Straw has been a government minister in charge of two great states of offices. He was Home Secretary, known internationally as the Interior Minister, and he was also Justice Secretary, responsible for justice, the courts. In 13 years of government, he was never able to raise this issue at all. And suddenly now, when there's an uproar within the community, when there's a debate about people being convicted, he jumps up and jumps on that bandwagon. I think that's deeply irresponsible on his part.
Forgive me for interrupting. I don't think the timing of it really speaks to the truth or falsity of his remarks, but let me allude to something you just passed over very quickly. University College London's own study from its Jill Dando Institute of Security and Crime Science, the numbers that they found were startling, and you quoted them in passing. Of the cases that they looked at, 17 court cases of gangs of men grooming young women for sex or sexual assault, what they found that of those convicted, 56 men, well, 3 of them were white, 53 were Asian, and of those, 50 were Muslim, a majority of them members of the British Pakistani community. So, if it's wrong to point to the community as having some kind of endemic problem, what is the problem? The numbers are startling.
Well, there's a problem with society. I think there's a problem with lack of family values. There's a perception there are broken houses. We are going through immense challenging time in this country. You know, I think the internet, I think celebrity culture, all these things contribute to a society that thinks you can sexualize children at a very young age. It's very important to recognise that the victims in this have suffered immense abuse. And we've got to recognise this.
Everything you said, I think everyone would agree is true. The question still remains, why are so many Britons of Pakistani descent being identified as the culprits?
Well, I think many of these people, I mean, look, it's not, Jonathan, it's not cultural, it's not religious. There is no culture, there's no religion in this world that encourages this type of behaviour. It's a criminal matter. These are criminal gangs. They don't use religion, they don't use their culture. It's not something which they're taught to when they're growing up, as some claim. But these are criminal gangs who want quick sexual satisfaction. They want to make quick money, and that's all it is.
Well,
I think,
let me jump in then on that thought.
The
police are responsible for finding criminal gangs, arresting their members, prosecuting their crimes. The police should be approaching this in a way that has nothing to do with race and ethnicity.
No,
what should the Pakistani community be doing?
Jonathan, can I just say, I really have to say this. 2 years ago, when I raised this issue for the first time, I did say there was a perception that the police were not dealing with this openly because of a threat of being accused of being racist. And actually, we've seen a sudden change in the last 2 years. Positive change. We've seen more cases come to court, more convictions, and so yes, we're making progress on this issue, but to try to racialise this issue, to try to demonise a whole faith system or a whole community is deeply irresponsible and pandering to the agenda of the far right, and that is not befitting a politician of Jack Straw's stature.
Mohammed Shafiq of the Ramadhan Foundation, thank you so much for talking with us.